garage. I've been out here for a few hours working. I put a hanger, exhaust hanger on the X-pipe setup, and then I tacked some V-bands on the end of the muffler. These are pretty hot right now, but yeah, just fusion tacked. I'm gonna come back and do a full tack on it. This is a very ugly hanger. I really didn't want to put the hanger on the mufflers themselves because I didn't want it to tear through the muffler over time and then cause a rattle. But there wasn't really a good spot for me to put a hanger. This is a perfect spot. So it's pretty ugly. But I put a strap all the way across, so it'll kind of like hold and cradle. You'll see when I have it installed, but that's what I've been up to. And yeah, other than that, I haven't really been doing too much out here. This is going to be, from here back, is going to be, she's hot. You know, these guys. And like I said before, I got the nice V-bands with they interlock with each other. I'm actually going to clamp these on here now before I finish weld this. To keep these V-bands from warping. And then from there, I'll be able to disconnect the axle back sections. Got the bumper trimmed, as you saw in the previous video, and yeah, just a little bit of work. I had a relaxing weekend, and I didn't feel like coming out here yesterday, so it's Sunday, and now I'm out here. I'm listening to Cooper's podcast as I work. If you haven't checked out his podcast, does a pretty good podcast of like you know, people in the racing scene and all that. Yeah, so I'm gonna get back to work. I'll throw some time lapse in. I'll try and get some clips of some welding and all that, so. Here's the deal. I ran into a problem. You can see here, this weld looks like I ran out of gas, right? But you can see the difference. Obviously, I'm not the best welder, but I am getting better. But right here, you can see where it looks like I ran out of gas. Well, that was right after I made an adjustment to the angle of my tip. You can see, look, it's like not attached in there. So I had this other TIG torch, and when I went to go screw it on, because I figured I'd just switch to that TIG torch. This is the torch that the welder came with had this end on it. Come on, focus. So I had that end on it. The TIG torch that I got had this end on it. So I tried to find an adapter. I didn't have an adapter to make that work. So I cut this off, thinking that I could grab a barb, and put a barb in there, and maybe that would have worked. But then I didn't realize that there's a wire in here, and that's how. That's what gives power to the electrode. So it kind of sucks. And I looked, you can't even buy just the TIG torch for this welder, which I guess is the downfall of a $180 welder. At that price, I guess you just buy a new welder. But there has to be some sort of adapter that would work for this. And I'm going to research that because I can't seem to find a TIG torch that fits this. Anyway, so what I did is I had one of these barb guys that fits in there. So this screwed into the welder. So then I put the hose and I cut the hose so that there was some excess wire. I ran the wire outside and I clamped down on it as much as I can. So I'm gonna try and keep going with this. I am gonna wrap this in electrical tape, mostly to try and stop if there's a small gas leak here. So we'll see how it works, but that is the first kind of problem that I found with this $180 welder. And I got this heat wrap thing around this torch. I was going to use this torch and I went to plug it in and I realized that it didn't work. So I'm seeing if rigging it together like this is going to work. So let's see. All right, as soon as I find my gloves, here they are. Okay, I wrapped that hose with electrical tape. Let's see how it does. I already had a tungsten and everything set up on this. Hopefully this works. It's working. I am going to change the tungsten because it was one that was balled up before. I don't know why I put a balled up one in here. What my welds are looking like now. Not the best, but if you remember my very first welds, you will know that's a lot better. I'm pretty proud of that. So I'm gonna keep going. All right, guys, let me show you what I got going here. I'm pretty proud of this weld. Look at that. Woo-wee. Okay. I'm getting to the point now where I kind of want to start over because now I know how to weld better, but it's fine. I'm going to keep going. I got that welding helmet hair going on, and I have a box that I got from weldmetals.com full of pie cuts that are very precisely done. If you don't know what pie cuts are, let me just set you down here. Okay, so if you don't know what pie cuts are, you can use this to make bends, and basically you can arrange them all different ways and get all kinds of custom type bends. So now I'm at the point where I'm going to start using the pie cuts, and basically this piece I'm going to bolt to the car now, and then I'm not going to take it off until the exhaust is done, because this whole exhaust is getting painted. So just to keep it from corroding, and yeah, I don't know, I'm just going to paint it all black. Even the beautiful welds here. Whew, she hot. So I'm going to let this cool, but I'm going to get this installed. I kind of put it on the car and marked, I want to cut this here, and this is where this end is gonna, this is where I'm going to use these pie cuts. See there, I can do this, and then so I can do that. All right, forget it. You get the idea. Basically, you can use these to make bends. I also have these. If I need to make a 90, I'm going to just cut that, or if it's close to a 90. But this will make it a lot easier to kind of snake the exhaust like around the fuel tank and up into each spot where it needs to go. I'm going to start doing that, and yeah, I'll get back to it. I'll check in with you. I don't know how much I'm going to time lapse, but I'll check back in with you. So that's the end of the exhaust right there for now. That's where I'll be able to take the axle back sections off. So from here back I'll be able to remove. And here's the mount that I made. Went into these factory bolt holes on either side, so it completely cradles it. There shouldn't be too much stress with this breaking away. Gravity should help me out. Got the X pipe. The wideband bung is right over here. I do need to do a little hammer work just on the chassis because I put the wideband on an angle like that. I didn't want it perfectly straight. I wanted it like that. So I just need to just do a little hammer work right here, just to clearance. And that's the exhaust so far. And that brings us back to here. And then this is where I'm going to use those pie cuts. Alright guys, this is probably going to get boring, but you see the process of basically I'm fitting up these pie cuts to make the bends, and the plan is to shoot back that way and pretty much get centered up on the opening there, and then the same thing on the passenger side to get centered up on that opening that I cut, all while trying to stay as close basically to the diff as possible, just to avoid any interference with the suspension. And yeah, so I'm just gonna get to it. It's the next day, and when I got done work, I came out here and worked for a few hours. I got pretty much everything tacked in place, so let's see what the exhaust looks like. So here's the tips kind of in place, and then we'll go under the car. Let me get situated on my creeper. This is what it looks like under here. I added these little bullet mufflers on either side here, and nothing's tacked from here forward. Nothing's tacked. What I want to do is I want to finish weld all this up to the V-band. The V-bands are done, so everything is sort of just tacked along. So I'm going to finish weld it just in case it moves a little bit. Then I can do my final fitment from here forward, and I'm using some slip joints. You know, that piece there slips over top, so I can get some adjustment. And then I'm going to do hangers to the, I'll do some hangers from here to there, that hole, there to that hole, and then I'll have to do some hangers up in here somehow. I'll figure that out. So that's what I'm working on. What I'm going to do now is pull all this out of here, and we're going to finish weld the pipes, and then that's going to take a while because it's a whole bunch of welding. All right, guys, we're ready to burn these pipes in. Obviously, I pulled them off. I did put some solar flux in for the joints that I can reach. I'm not super worried about back purging and all that. This is my first TIG welding real project, so keeping it basic, but whatever I could reach, I solar fluxed on both ends. And yeah, so I'm going to set up the camera on the tripod here, and we're going to time lapse through it. I'm going to be jamming out to some music, and let's burn these pipes in. I'm out of gas. It was looking good, right? And then it got real crappy. See if I can get my. I'm gonna see if I can get my tank filled. Argon doesn't last long when you TIG welding a lot. All right, guys, I got lucky. I bolted to the closest welding supply place and I got there with 3 minutes to spare. Hooked me up with a fresh argon tank. So let me get this hooked up and back to welding. Guys, the exhaust is finished. Fan just kicked on. Radiator feels cool. Try and give it some revs, hopefully it doesn't die. Okay guys, the exhaust is done. I'm gonna end this video off here. It's probably been long enough. This exhaust took me like 2 weeks to build, just kind of doing it on my spare time and all that. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I gotta work on catching the idle on the way back down. It's idling good, but it's stalling out on the way down, so it's not catching the idle quick enough. So yeah, and I got a couple little things to tidy up. Catch can, actually bolt the headlights on, and tuck up some wires underneath the car, and then she'll be ready to drive. So next video, yeah, next video we'll tidy up all the little things, and maybe we'll back it out of the garage. Alright, so one thing that I wanted to put out in this video is I am officially registered for Midwest Drags in this car. So look forward to that. Look forward to the content of getting ready for Midwest Drags and coming along on the trip with me. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.